Faisal 1919. I was going to say a daily update and all that, but it's not really. I want to talk about, today I'm going to talk about VAR. Premier League roundup there the last few days. Potter's exit, which is not a surprise, and obviously the drama that we've had. So it was a bit of a chaotic weekend. I've got a few notes here, so if you see me glance to the side, that's basically what I've done. But it was a bit of a chaotic weekend in the Premier League. Results, VAR, referees. To be fair, it was, you could say, some dubious decisions. I'll touch on them as well. The Newcastle game was, how there wasn't a penalty in that, I don't know. West Ham sacking Farke Saturday morning. I woke up to that news and it was crazy. Then the chaos at Leeds, the result, I suppose, the 2-2, taking the positives out of that, sort of go through the bones of it. I don't intend to be on here long, so I want to do a quick run through of everything and we'll take it from there. So in a nutshell, we'll touch on the Liverpool game. Liverpool Palace, what a game that was. Eddie Nketiah, ex-Leeds player, scoring in the last 10 seconds of that game at Selhurst Park. Deserved win. Better team all round. Then you had was it Burnley Forest drew 1-1? Or did I get that wrong? I think it was 1-1. Or did Forest win that? I can't remember. But anyway, then you had Sunderland Villa. That was a game. Sunderland are doing well. They're doing very well. I thought with Diarra leaving, obviously being out until around Christmas time and injury, I thought they'd fall off. But they're definitely not falling off. They have a real cutting edge up front, and that helps them. And then you've got the Spurs game. Spurs played Wolves. Wolves are not a good team, but they've got a point. And I think it was away to Spurs as well. That gives me a lot of hope because yes, they had Strand Larson back, but we're better than Wolves. We're not going to give up the chances that Wolves give up, I'd like to think. And we've shown in the last few games we do have a cutting edge. The big one, the big game I think for us obviously is the Bournemouth game. Some absolute crackers. The Longstaff goal was an absolute cracker. It was a highlight. Semenyo's free kick, we can dissect that 1,000 times. I've seen so many people trying to blame Aronson. I'm not going to go into all that again. It's not Brendan's fault. Brendan was placed. He is told where to go when he's lying down as the draft excluder. And he's taking direction from both the goalkeeper and the wall. And as much as I want to hate Brendan, it's not his fault. At the end of the day, Stacken Strike jumped over the ball. The ball goes under them. Obviously, that sort of leaves it late for the keeper, and the keeper can't react. It was just power. It wasn't a great free kick. It was just power. But again, then we had Rodon's header. Again, bad goalkeeping. Great finish, but bad goalkeeping. And then you had Kruppi's volley in the last few seconds. We can dissect that, but at the end of the day, you can turn around and it's just lackadaisical at the back post. 2 men free. But I will say that it's the Premier League. It's madness. You're going to get punished. You're going to win games in the last 10 breaths of the game. You're going to lose games, as the Fulham game summed that up. And sometimes you're going to get what we deserve, sometimes you won't. But I know for a fact that the crowd were 100% behind Farke, 100% behind the team. Farke probably made a couple of questionable decisions. DCL was out on his feet for the last 10 minutes of the game. He done well. He ran the channels, he held the ball up, he brought players in the midfield into play, brought the wingers into play, more so Okafor than Brendan, because Brendan was never on the wing. After the first minute, he makes the keeper make a save, DCL that is. Can he do better? Yeah, he can. He needs to do better, really, but I think he does okay. Overall, it was quite. It's an acceptable one, because at the end of the day, Bournemouth are a good team. I had to take a point before the game. I'm just looking here. Like, Leeds dominated the possession early, 48-52. But they hit us in the counter attack. This is early doors. Hit us in the counter attack with a free kick. But I thought we were the better team after that. I think Rodon scored the equaliser, and after that we were by far and away the better team. Sean Longstaff, if anybody told me stick a tenner in a player to score a goal, I would never put it in Sean Longstaff. Never. But what a goal it was. Outside of the right boot, boom. Inside of the post, ripples the net. Keeper no chance, to be fair. Strike in an offside position, don't care. He wasn't in front of the keeper, so it's not even a question. So for that to go to VAR, if that had been over, I would not have been surprised if it went to VAR and overturned, because I have no faith in VAR. I don't think anybody does. We almost made a 3 when Jack Harrison come on. Good sub, by the way. I was hoping he was going to come on for Brendan on the right, but Jack had a rifle. Straightforward enough save for the keeper, but he had to make the save, and it was a rocket. So Jack actually could have made a 3, but sure, it is what it is. But Krupi is criminal at the back post in the 92nd, 93rd minute, and Krupi finds himself completely unmarked, and look, the keeper's no chance. You can do nothing about it. You have to credit Bournemouth for not finishing with a whimper, that they came out against us, they kept going, and they got their point. And now they're third or fourth in the table. You can't, look, they're a good team. They're a very good team. They're going to be nowhere near the bottom. As I say, like, Farka said, quote, we missed big chances, but the fight was there. Yeah, we did, yeah. But we also made subs too late, the wrong subs. And tactically, at the last 10 or 15 minutes, you cannot just sit and sit and sit. You'll get punished in the Premier League. DCL was out on his feet the last 10 minutes of normal time. I thought in the match he should have come on for DCL at straight swap, and I would have left it at that. But it is what it is. He made the choice, made the decision, and you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you're up against the manager in Areola, he knows his team inside out, and he'll have studied our team. He's at the Bielsa disciple, and we all know that. He will have studied everything to a meticulous degree. So it's a soul-crushing, I was going to say defeat, but it's not. It was a draw. It was a soul-crushing draw at the time. However, at the same time, weirdly, I wasn't crying about it, I take a point off Bournemouth every day of the week. Again, there's a lot worse teams in this league than Bournemouth, and we can definitely take points of those teams. I think Tottenham are going to give us a lot of chances. The way they play, they're not the Spurs of a couple of years ago, and I don't think that the manager is amazing. I think he's a good manager, very good manager, but at the same time, Spurs are playing Champions League football, so we have to take that advantage. But listen, there's a lot to be positive about moving forward. We're sitting more than 1 point. I think we're 8 points in 6 games is like 1.3 points per game. If we keep that continuing from now to the end of the season, we'll be comfortably up. We'll stay up comfortably. Yeah, so let's be positive. And then, right, we'll move on now to other things. VAR. The Palace-Liverpool game. I can't understand why it took so long for them to They got it right in the end, but it pisses me off because Eddie Kelly is a tight decision, but why does it take so long? I don't get it. It's surely just a quick offside look. You know, it was a definite penalty. It was definitely onside, and it was a brilliant finish. Poor defending by Liverpool, by the way. They can be got up. They are very good going forward, as we all know, but they can be got up defensively. But yeah, I just don't understand the whole issue. Like, there's too many referees, in my opinion, and it's the same referees, the likes of Paul Tierney, etc., that make they're getting the heat, but ultimately it's the VAR people in the studio in is it Langley Park or something? I don't know where it is. St George's somewhere. Anyway, these guys are making the decisions, and the referees on field are getting the heat. That's just the way it is. But there's a screen beside the field, and if the referees don't trust or don't like that decision, they can go to the screen, and they should go to the screen. And I'll tell you something. What really pissed me off was the Newcastle Arsenal game. I saw Elanga, I think it was, went across the ball, and it clearly strikes the hand of, I think it was Gabriel. Could have been Saliba, but I think it was Gabriel. How it isn't a penalty, I don't understand. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It just makes me question the whole refereeing authority aspect of the game. Who is actually refereeing the game? Like an example is whenever Spurs scored in the last minute, yes, the jubilation and the stuff, but then the referee's surrounded by about 10 players on the Spurs side. How many yards did he dish out? None. You know, and then the other thing is, like, I'll go back to the Leeds game, the Bournemouth, the foul that was given away for the free kick. Why is that not looked at? That free kick led to a goal, obviously. It was just a shot on target goal. Well, why can we not go back and look at the free kick? It was never a foul. So you've just given a foul for the sake of giving what the most simplest contact in the world. It's borderline at best. At best, the fans are completely going like, "Why is there a free kick here in a dangerous place? We've been dominating the ball, and then they make it. Referee makes a game-changing decision on the drop of a hat. It makes no sense to me. VAR, to be honest with you, I think it creates more headaches than it does solve any problems. So I just get rid of it. I think people like Hart Webb has to come out and start actually explaining things here, because it's getting to a stage now where it's a total shit show. To be fair, something that might impact us, but it's not us, is West Ham. Obviously, West Ham are in a run of really poor form. They have sacked Potter, and we had a lot of Leeds fans clamouring for Nuno whenever Nuno left for us. They obviously, the Farka situation, people are questioning or they're not happy at certain things, and you'll have the Farka out and the Farka in brigades and stuff like that. Again, my position is very simple. I'm with the man until I'm not. I can't argue. I can't argue with the points tally. I'd be happy with this at the beginning of the season. It's as simple as that. What I will say is, well, 1.2, 1.3 points per game will keep us up. And let's be brutally honest, lads, we're not going to come first in the league this season. We were never going to. 17th in the league is a successful season, and previous seasons has shown that. So, you're talking every team that comes up automatically goes down. It's the last 3 seasons. So if ourselves, Sunderland and Burnley have a fighting chance this season, well, why the hell would we sack the man that got us there if he's doing the job at the minute? If that changes, then we have the discussion. But you just don't upset the apple cart now. West Ham in a different story though. They've 3 points out of 5 games. They had to make a change. Potter wasn't working. It hasn't been working from last season to this season. They're playing, I think, tonight. They had to make a decision, and to be fair, Nuno going into to West Ham is it's a big draw. Is it a concern? I don't think it's a concern for me because he's got the same players to January. I don't think their players are any better than ours. And I don't think he can wave a magic wand. He doesn't have the money to spend that he did at Forest. He doesn't have the quality of player now at West Ham that he did at Forest, or even whenever he was at Wolves. So yes, I do believe that Nuno is a quality manager and he could change things for them, but he's not going to change it that dramatically that they're going to be a top class team all of a sudden. So, you know, it just goes to prove sometimes you change your manager from a David Moyes because you think you want to play more attractive football. It doesn't always work out, not in the Premier League. Graham Potter came in and realistically he tried to implement a style of football that didn't suit West Ham. So it is what it is with West Ham. Unfortunately for them, unfortunately for us, they're in the doldrums, and I hope they could beat tonight because obviously that takes a wee bit of pressure off ourselves, and we can go forward to the weekend against Spurs and try and get something out of it. I'll take a point all day long. I think we can beat them, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, they've got the quality to beat us. There's no doubt about that. But let's not be too concerned if we play our game. The other thing is, obviously, I think after this game we go into like match day 7. I think starts Friday, and I'm just looking here. I think it's going to international break after that. Well, Dan James has only come back from injury. I'd like to think he's fit to start then come Spurs, because that would make a huge difference if you had Dan James whipping balls in early to DCL and you had Okafor on the other side doing the exact same. I think we can create problems all over the park for them. Defensively, we could be solid because the three in midfield, I think, can rival any midfield in the entire league as long as we're on form. And the longer we get to play together, the longer we get to find how each other play, the nuances in the midfield. You see, Longstaff came out with an absolute brilliant performance the other day at Allen Road. I think they're becoming more comfortable with each other in that midfield and in their roles. So yeah, a couple of big games. Obviously, I think Man City obviously destroyed Burnley, which is good. That's a big one for us. And their goal difference took a beating too. Newcastle, Arsenal touched on a 2-1. Arsenal were the better team overall, but there's so many dubious decisions. It pisses me off. But I don't think we don't sleep on the Leeds Spurs game. I think we are in a position going into next week where we genuinely can. Is it an upset? Can we cause an upset? I think we can. Listen, for the day, that's the roundup. Touching on VAR, touching on Potter, touching on Leeds, touching on midweeks. Drop in the comments if you want to send in about Nuno or Potter, about Leeds, about Spurs, if you disagree or agree. I mean, even Farka, if should we have got rid of Farka, should we not, whenever Nuno was there. I'm going to come back midweek, probably in and around the Farka press conference. Whenever I find a wee bit more, we all find a wee bit more out about injuries, etc., where we stand on that front. And if there's anything else comes up, then I'll hop on. But please like, comment, subscribe, and you know where I'm at. Remember, we're all here for a good time, not a long time.